big threes are some of the most galvanizing stories in sports, the most captivating stories in sports. We have seen big threes win titles before, most notably the Miami Heat, LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade. Do you expect the Suns' new big three to win a title?
I truly do. I'm not sure if it's next year, the year before, or year after that, but I can see a championship coming to Phoenix. I mean, when I look at this team, let's not overthink this, right? You have three solid all-stars on one team. Mm-hmm. I remember Joe was talking about the points difference between the Nuggets and the Suns in the playoffs, right? And like, man, who's going to be the third piece to scoring? Well, you have it, right? You have it now. You haven't looked nowhere else. We've seen Devin Booker and Kevin Durant give you 60-plus points combined.
They did.
You had Bradley Beal in that thing. What you think he gonna bring? 20s, 30s? And then I'm not sure what they're doing with DeAndre Ayton, if they're keeping him or not. But if they keep him right now, with the roster they have right now, you can add a couple little pieces on the bench. Yeah. You keep Ayton there, it's gonna be a tough team to deal with.
It's a nice roster, Shady.
Tough team to deal with.
I understand all the excitement. It is merited when you talk about those three stars. But Joy, will those three players, do you expect that big three for the Suns to win a title?
I think they have as good a chance as anyone else in the West. I mean, we talked all throughout this finals run about talent and the necessity for talent. Mm-hmm. Now, you mentioned DeAndre Ayton. They're going to have to fill out the rest of this roster because right now, I mean, this is the definition of a top-heavy roster. They don't have anybody else on the roster. They have 5 guys who are under contract. So they're going to need some more actual players. Yeah. But I anticipate that DeAndre Ayton will be moved and that they are going to fill out the rest of their roster. They're obviously going to have to add some height. They're going to need a big man, considering that they're going to have to take down the winners of the NBA title and of the Western Conference and the Nuggets, who have a pretty good big man. So there's some things that I think they need to adjust, but you're starting with 3 all-stars. You're starting with Bradley Beal is kind of faded into the mist a little bit because of the past few years. He's obviously had some injury problems, and, you know, being with the Wizards, it doesn't help. But Bradley Beal is a coveted player. There's a reason why he wanted that no-trade clause in his contract, and it's worked absolutely in his benefits. If you're a Suns fan or you're in the Suns organization, I don't know how you're not thrilled about this.
Slick, you're not in the Suns organization, so I can't assume you are thrilled about this. But what are you? Can this team win a title?
Not as constituted. Well, hold on. Look, it can win a title. It can win a fantasy league basketball title. They are killer if it comes to fantasy league. If we're talking about reality, I hate to get into the weeds on this, and I won't go too far, but the cap is projected to be $134 million next year. Right. These 3 alone are $130 million. Mm-hmm. You add DeAndre Ayton, it goes to $160 million. Under the new CBA, that takes you over the second apron, which means you lose all of your mid-level, your exceptions to sign players. You're basically, the rest of your roster is going to be minimum contract players. And the challenge there is, even if you have guys in the league who say, well, hey, those guys could be playing for a championship, I'd like to go play with them. I'd rather go play with a guy like Nikola Jokic, who's going to get me shots if I'm a role player. Okay. I got to defend, and he's going to get me open threes, right? Even Jamal Murray can do the same. I ain't seen the ball once it goes to one of these 3 dudes. They're getting all the shots, right? They're scoring all the points. So I've got to do all the dirty work. And if I look at the Denver Nuggets, or I look at, you know, some of the teams, I think there's some young teams in the Western Conference that are on the cusp of coming right now. Mm-hmm. I think the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be better next year. Sacramento Kings. Those are 2. Denver Nuggets obviously are still going to be at the top of the heap. I just don't see the path in which they're able to get there on the timeline that you have to with Kevin Durant.
I agree with that. 2-5, I don't think the Suns are going to win a title. Joy, I don't think the Suns are going to win a title, and I need help to make my point. See, this is a full-size or king-size Snickers bar. This is a regular-size Snickers bar, and this is a snack-size Snickers bar. This is Kevin Durant. This is Devin Booker, and this is Bradley Beal. They are all the same thing. The only difference is they have different shapes and sizes. The exact same flavor profile, just different shapes and different sizes. All 3 of these players are walking buckets. I mean, walking buckets. Kevin Durant has averaged 30 points a game in his career, led the league in scoring. Bradley Beal's averaged 30 points a game 2 of the last 4 years. Devin Booker, y'all saw what he did this year in the playoffs, walking buckets. But the problem is, it's all the same guy. And you can devour all of these Snickers if you would like, but the dilemma is very simple. You gonna get sick because you ain't got a balanced diet. The Suns roster is not balanced. And I don't see how it will become balanced because you have 3 of the same players, some taller, some shorter, some light-skinned, some dark-skinned. But you got 3 of the same player on the basketball court. That is why I don't see them winning a title. Slick, you made a good point, and I'll elaborate on that point. I don't know who the Suns' janitor is going to be. Got a whole bunch of CEOs, Shady, but I don't know who the janitor is going to be. When I think about championship teams, every one of them have a janitor. For the Denver Nuggets this year, in the starting lineup, Aaron Gordon, he was going to do the dirty work. Who y'all need me to guard? Y'all need me to go dive on this loose ball? I'll do it. Backups, you had Brown and Brown. Both the Browns are going to do the dirty work. When you think about the year before, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he was going to be the janitor, if you will. And if not Giannis, Drew Holiday, and to some degree Lopez. You think about the year before when you want to talk about the Warriors, Draymond Green was always going to be the janitor. Draymond Green is doing the dirty work for those Warriors teams. So every team in my mind needs a janitor. I don't know who it's going to be in the 6-point, Shady. I don't know that any free agent's going to want to come over there and be like, okay, I'll just be a scrappy guy.
I just feel like I disagree because, first of all, when you go to a heavy load team like that and you are guys probably going to make either the veteran minimum or you're going to make a minimum wage in general. And it's like, you know your role. Not too many guys is trying to add on to a team for playing that minimum contract is going to be, I need the ball, I need the ball. Nobody's doing that on any level. If it's in the NFL or NBA, they know their role. When you're coming to a team to have some type of stars, you know what role you're going to play. And a guy might love to be a scrappy guy, right? I remember when David West with the Warriors, when he won that championship, he could have went to other places and got more money. But he said, "No, I want to win a championship. I'm going to take less to go win." And I think a lot of players will come to the Suns for that reason.
Joy, you've seen a lot of big threes, and you saw up close and personal one of the greatest big threes, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. But you've also covered the league long enough to see big threes not work. James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. So you've seen it work, and you've seen it not work. What gives you confidence in this iteration, in these 3?
Frank Vogel. He's a championship-level coach.
The coach, he's a real good coach.
He's a real good coach. He knows how to work with big stars. He's already done it. He knows how to elevate teams past what their capabilities may seem on paper. And this is a team that has a very aggressive owner. Obviously, an owner that's willing to write the check, or they want to put these guys together. Now, I don't know if it's going to work or not. We get very excited about these things. It's going to be a lot of offense. I know it's going to work during the regular season. I know that. There are some questions about availability. That's going to have to be answered. But to me, when you're talking about building a team that's going to compete with the Denver Nuggets, which is the team that you have to beat now in the West, you have to have a lot of talent. Now, I watched the Nuggets from a different perspective than everybody else did because I am a Heat fan. So I feel like I saw the vulnerabilities that everybody else was blinded to because they were enamored with an incredibly talented and deep team. But with this team, the key is going to be who you put on the rest of the roster. I think they have to be very intentional about getting some real defensive dogs that are available. They're going to have to get some size. But to Shady's point, why would you bring in more players that want shots? They got more than enough shots with those 3. More than enough. They really had enough shots with just KD and Booker. So you have the offense covered. Frank Vogel is a defensive coach. So he's going to develop that part of this program. And the players that they bring in to fill out the rest of this roster, obviously, it will be difficult because they don't have a lot of money. But if they are intentional with it, I absolutely think they can do it.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, let me be clear. I'm not saying that you're going out to get Buddy Hield and scorers to add to this. But even if I'm a defensive player, I want to touch the ball every now and then, right? I don't want to have it like, these guys take all the shots, and my job is to make stops. And if we don't make stops, it's my fault that we don't win because these guys are scoring. And you know how it goes. We look at the offensive numbers and we go, well, KD got his 25, and Booker got his 25, and Bradley got his 20. So it must be the other guys. And I will make that sacrifice if I think I'm going to win a ring. But I don't know how any ancillary player could look at Phoenix and go, oh, well, they're better than Denver. I don't know how you look at that.
But is Denver interested in this ancillary player?
What's that?
Is Denver interested in this player?
They already have them.
That's what I'm saying. So we're not talking about players who are like, nah, I'm not going here, I'm going here, I'm not going there, I'm not doing that role.
No,
there are definitely guys around the league who want to play a specific role with a team that is competing for a championship. We feel like there's only 1 or 2, maybe 3 teams that we feel very comfortable are in a position to go back to the championship, to the finals next year right now as they're currently assembled. It's a very short list. But the Suns are someone that you feel like if it comes together could get there.
Joy, here's what's fascinating to me. Clearly, we've heard all these brilliant opinions at the desk. I'm interested in how do players feel. I found it very peculiar when Yusuf Nurkic, he responded via Twitter yesterday. He said, the Brooklyn situation all over again, crying emoji, crying, laughing emoji. I wonder if players have seen this not work enough times to say, you know what, we're good. Or to Shady and Joy's point, it's Kevin Durant. It's Devin Booker. It's Bradley Beal. Maybe you would just say, hey, I trust that it will work. Shady, if you are a player in the NBA, what's your thought process? Because you have seen it be a colossal failure in Brooklyn. Do you think that you would run to this opportunity?
I mean, it depends what type of player you are. I think from older players or players not get that type opportunity to display how good they are, right, on different teams. You come to this team where we're older, we're savvy vets, right? We want to win now. We're doing everything possible to win. And you want to align yourself with that team because now your role might just be, I got to play defense and shoot wing threes. I'll sign it up right now because you know you're going to get open shots. See, I feel like, Skip, you thinking, or I called you Skip.
You did.
I meant to say Slick, not
Rick.
Skip, but Slick Rick. Sorry about that, brother. I feel like you're looking at this as a player that's trying to go off and do his thing. No, if you're a player that's trying to come here and win, it fits right with you. Open shots. Think about that.
This is also a team. This is also a team that has a lot of championship experience. You've got a coach that's won a championship. Hold on now.
It's players that have championship experience.
KD has a few of those.
I'm hard-pressed to say that it's a team if it's KD and it's a coach. Like, when I think of a team having championship experience, I think of like 3, 4 of the guys.
Well, they only have 5 players on the team, 6 players on the team right now under contract anyway. Booker's played in the finals. KD is 2-time finals MVP. He has 2 championships and a league MVP. And Frank Vogel has won a championship 4 years ago. So the top part of this team, the 2 most important pieces in Kevin Durant and the coach are championship level.
It's fascinating.
And I think Bill will be better because you're playing with teams that I'm sorry, just haven't been good. They've been kind of weak.
At all.
Right?
At all.
Now you go to a team that got real good players, you're going to shine better with less volume, with less shots.
Okay, hold on. Wait. I know we got to go, but what did those role players for the Suns last year? Did they shine? Like,
nah, but
they were together like 14
But this role player is
games.
different though.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal is like a different type of role player. Like, imagine him, he's a star.
No, I'm talking about everybody else.
Role players
I'm talking about 5, 6, 7, 8.
I get that, but when you
9.
when you add in Bradley Beal, like them role players, now their job is not as big.
He made the guys in Washington better?
I mean, that's not his job. And
he ain't playing with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker.
subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.